To begin with, I extend a very warm welcome to Aarti ma'am, Shami ma'am, respected jury members, core team members, and my team.
Let me introduce our team members. Every great project is powered by a great team. So R includes Akshita, Tanish, Kunal, and Ekta ma'am.
So here we begin with our presentation. In this presentation, we'll be talking about the report by the World Economic Forum, which highlights how the global job, skills, and industries are changing due to technology, which we are saying as an intrusion in our lives. The demographics and the economic shifts are taking place. It provides a roadmap for workers, employers, and policymakers to prepare for the future of their work and not be scared with it.
And as you guys know that we did a survey based on how AI is going to reshape the job market. Before we dive into these analytics that I'm showing currently, I'll share you what my survey concluded of. So in our survey, if I go to summarize it, we concluded 10 questions in which we asked them that are they confident about their career in the age of AI? Is AI going to will nature of job, soft skills will be more important than technical skills in future. I feel prepared to adapt job skills and changes. If you can see the analytics, you can already see that 26% of them are prepared to adapt the job changes and they strongly agree with it. There are many skills that we need to learn in future. It could be stock market, it could be artificial intelligence, data science, emotional intelligence, machine learning, cloud analytics, skill boost, and a lot of other things that we want to and will acknowledge those things. Many people will answer in the sense of languages that they want to learn many new languages or they want to be a politician or they want to do something else. But if I talk about in the sense of future of jobs that relates with artificial intelligence, many people are now focusing upon coding skills, fundamentals of AI, machine learning, research skills, and prompt engineering. If I talk about that, which sector do you think AI will revolutionize in the next 10 years? Our highest response comes within the education field. As you can also know that education is the most important and most crucial part in our lives. So having a development in that education field is really necessary. If I was to give an example of that particular thing, if you remember, a few years back, our schools introduced e-learning and e-platforms in school itself through DigiBoards and through other platforms. Many people have gone with advocacy, technology, R&D sector, and airspace. There are many technologies and platforms that we use. When I talk about that, I need to prepare my content, my presentation, my Google Sheets, or if I was to talk about even the video that we generate, many platforms like ChatGPT, Bard, Canva, Figma are used with many of the interns within Anon as well as the whole population of India and the world. Many students were studying who filled up this form, and many were studying the commerce field. If I was to talk about which sector they are working in, so most of them are again into education sector that I talked about previously. If I was to show you the most presentable analytics for the same, as you can see in this, with what steps are you currently taking to prepare yourself for an AI-driven future? Many people have given different answers. Again, we have received 145 responses, out of which our team has figured out top 10 responses in which trying to find use ways to integrate AI in creating efficiency, getting hands-on with AI tools to teach my students. I spend my time exploring AI platforms, key features to consider, customization, integration, collaboration, being indulgent in AI softwares for more ideas, learning and exploring the skills required to future ready like AI tools for teachers, learning new languages, and learning how to work with AI and how to make AI. So every person or every individual wants to know and explore more about AI, and these were the steps that they were taking upon. If I was to talk about top 3 future skills that people wish to learn this year, so highest population goes with artificial intelligence, and second goes with coding, and the last one goes with analytics. Thank you.
So, according to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, AI would be a massive disruptor if it is not taken into consideration seriously. At the other side, there are AI oriented jobs which can be achieved by people uh, who are willing to learn and reskilling their skills and enhancing their skills themselves. And the core skills would be AI and machine learning, coding, cybersecurity, renewable energy, and big data analysis. And at the right side, you can see a upward trend chart where it is showing that evolution of AI, artificial intelligence, and technology throughout the decades.
When we are talking about AI is affecting the global market as well because it's not restricted to areas or continents. So what we have come across our research that since 1991, there is a decline in unemployment because there are a lot of factors affecting it, like our economy is stabilizing, our inflation is being able to be controlled, and that is why the employment percentage has been restricted to, or we can say has come down lowest to 4.9%. But still, youth unemployment has still been maintained, or you can say elevated to 13%. Now, I believe, as per the content that I've studied or the researches that we have done, this unemployment is majorly because the youth is still preparing to adapt to the change. They still need to be directed. They have to understand that what is going to be the future prospects for them. And when we are talking about this unemployment ratios or the shifts in shifts according to the regions, it is basically worldwide varying because the countries are having different demographic changes they are taking up to. They have different kind of income groups, and also there are various factors affecting each of these countries, and that is the reason if we go across the data we will see these variations. While some places the I can say the workforce is still very bright and prospective, while in some places it is declining quite a lot.
So, firstly, let's look at some key findings. The fastest growing jobs are in technology and green industries. At the same time, clerical and routine admin roles like data entry and cashier work are declining rapidly. Here's the scale: 170 million jobs are expected to be created, but 92 million jobs will disappear. That leaves us with a net gain of only 78 million jobs worldwide, roughly around a 7% increase. But it's not just about the new jobs replacing the old ones. It's about the around 22% of all existing jobs will be transformed, which in short means that the work same roles will change significantly. Interestingly, frontline jobs like farm workers, delivery drivers, care workers, and teachers are also expected to grow strongly in absolute numbers.
Talking about now and then, of course, when AI comes into consideration and when AI comes into our practical lives, the work shift will also shift. The work life will also shift dramatically. If I talk about in the future sense, there are many roles that are to be growing and that are to be declining. Growing roles are mostly considered with AI and machine learning specialists, big data analytics, fintech engineers, renewable energy engineers, nurses, and teachers. And the declining roles will be, of course, the data entry clerks, bank tellers, telemarketers, postal clerks, administrative assistants. Why is that so? Why data entry clerks are not into growing roles? Because this is one of the work that AI has already taken a step ahead with. If I was to export my data from Excel to a Google Excel sheet, or let's say on Canva, if I show you guys the analytics that I've prepared on slide 2 and slide 3, those data is just imported from the Excel sheet that I got from my surveys. So this is something that AI has already taken into consideration, already has taken a step ahead that we would take ours with it.
Here, it shows that industries and people who move along with AI and technology will grow and thrive, whereas industries who stuck with outdated technologies and didn't grow and upgrade themselves would be in a massive trouble.
Now, as we are discussing a global platform, the entire outlook of the report is varying depending upon the different geographical areas that we are considering. So we have some examples here. So let's talk about our own country, like India and Africa. We are the booming populations. So what is the focus here? Here we have a large youth population who is ready to join the workforce. Now, when we have a growing youth here, our job areas will be needing more creations will be needed in terms of education sector, agricultural sector, and also the services. But when we talk about North America and East Asia, they are already developed places. So they have very quickly adapted to AI and automation, and they have created a lot of jobs in terms of technology. Now, with advanced economies, we all know Japan and all, they are pretty advanced economies. So, but still, what is the problem arising there? Now, their workforce. Whenever we talk about AI and all these things, we are basically focusing on the workforce because they are the people who are going to be affected and they need to adapt. So, here the workforce is aging. And when the workforce is aging, the demand will be more on healthcare aspects. The demand will be more about social care jobs because we need to take care of the health and well-being of the workforce if we have to retain them. While countries like Africa and South Asia, the demographic dividends are a little different because they have to think of inclusive job creation aspects because there is a varied population there. And today we can't just focus that, okay, I have to hire from this sector. नहीं, मुझे इसी sector से hire करना है या उसी sector से hire करना है. The inclusivity is a major aspect nowadays whenever companies are going to recruit or look for talent in the global market.
Let's talk about what skills will actually matter. By 2030, nearly 40% of core skills are expected to change. Skills like analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, and leadership will be in high demand. On the technical side, AI and big data knowledge, cybersecurity, and overall tech literacy will become essential. Meanwhile, manual and routine skills will lose importance because automation will take over repetitive tasks. So the real takeaway here is that the future of work won't be about competing with AI, but about learning how to work with it, adapting quickly, and focusing on the skills that AI cannot easily replace.
If I was to conclude the slides that by 2030, nearly 40% of core skills will change, what I mean by that is that many of the things like will be dependent upon AI. For now, if I was to take example, I am dependent upon AI for my content creation. If I was to prepare any content, I would definitely go to ChatGPT and will be like, hey, ChatGPT, kindly give me this prompt or kindly do this. Yeah, if I was to prepare any of the photo, अब मैं उसको डायरेक्टली जाके बोलती हूँ कि मुझे ये फोटो चाहिए एंड वो मुझको 15 क्वेश्चंस पूछता है कि दैट इज इट ओके और शैल आई डू दिस मैं ये कर सकूँ ये करूँ एंड देन उसी को मैं बोलती हूँ कि गिव मी अ प्रॉम्प्ट सो दैट यू कैन वर्क अकॉर्डिंगली सो व्हाट आई मीन बाय दैट इज कि before we dive into those skill change, we need to develop analytical thinking, flexibility, leadership skills, and social influence. And of course, we need to learn about AI, big data knowledge, and cybersecurity. And then, as I talked about the work shift, 29% can reskill their current jobs, 59% of workers need training by 2030, 19% can move to new roles with retraining, 11% risk unemployment due to lack of access to upscaling. Recently, we had an example of TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, in which lack of employees were, just laid off. And why? Because they were not up to the mark or their skill were not matching up to the level of what they actually needed. So the shift in jobs requires urgent investment in people, and they need to understand that without large scale rescaling, millions risk being left behind. Government and employers must find lifelong learning along with workers.
Since we are at the center of the technological revolution, not only jobs will vanish, but it will shift. But the very first challenge is not about the loss of work. It is whether people are ready to adapt that. There is an urgent need of investment in people to upskill themselves.
I will just cite one example here. Me as being as an educator, when we have to prepare curriculum or content or worksheet for our students earlier, because I'm also not a big being an ICT teacher, I'm not much not diving into AI tools. But earlier we had to research multiple websites. अच्छा यहाँ से content ला वहाँ से देखो नहीं ये question अच्छा है वो question अच्छा है. But now we understand the need of the hour. So now we also take help of AI tools. Like we have got a beautiful magic tool set where you just give a good prompt, as Akshita mentioned, and it searches from various platforms and provides us with, if I can't say exact, a very precise and differentiated kind of worksheets, better curriculum, more activities in it. So yeah, definitely we need to adapt and change and be friendly with the AI, as Tanish told, rather than getting scared and saying कि नहीं नहीं वो तो chat GTP fan है उसका तो creativity बंद हो गया है. No, I guess we need more creativity there to give better prompts. Okay, so right now I was talking about giving better prompts. So not only I am an educator, so I know what things are going in school, but in general also. Now companies need to retain their workforce, and they need to adapt various strategies. But the reason is why they need to adapt the strategies. Things are changing very fast. AI is actually उसको बोलते हैं ना encroachment हो रहा है AI का हमारे life में, be it for a better, be it for worse, we don't know because we are too much in an initial stage to judge it. But yeah, companies have realized the need of power, and they need to adapt different strategies to retain the workforce, to upskill them, and to not get into a scene where they have to keep hiring new people. They have adopted strategies like they are reskilling the workforce, because they know that they already have experienced employees there. So if they invest in upskilling their skills or reskilling them or training them with the new things, it is much better to have that rather than hiring a new. But if they have to hire new employees, they are looking for those people who are ready to adapt with this growing skills. Earlier जब मैंने देख I have also like I also apply for interviews at different places whenever I move to different cities. तो पहले एक आउटलुक होता था, अच्छा इतना जॉब एक्सपीरियंस है, अच्छा 10 साल है, 15 साल है. But now I guess it's not the scene. Now they're looking for the skills, what skills you already have. So the hiring strategy has changed. Now the companies are more concentrated on what skills people are having rather than looking about their number of experience. So hiring trends are changing. Transition is also taking place because हर जगह हर type के लोग होते हैं. There diverse people are there. Some would be ready to accept the change, some are not ready. Because I cite one example. We all know, some are students here and we are teachers, that NEP came into a policy. Many schools have not yet adapted it. Why? Because it needs to change a lot of things, to initiate a lot of things. So we have to be ready to accept the change. Also, it is a very true fact that when AI is getting in, there will be a reduction in the workforce, because the kind of efficiency these AI tools and machines are giving us, yeah, we can't expect it to that level from the manual work. And definitely the well-being is important here, and DEI is playing a very important role, because DEI is not only about having diverse people in your company, but it is also about innovation. It is also about looking into different problems from different perspectives.
So now let's talk about the future of job, how it comes with the risk. So growth sounds good, but it doesn't come without the risk. The biggest barrier to transformation is the skills gap. About 63% of employers say that the lack of proper skills is their main challenge. That creates unequal access to opportunities, with some people moving ahead while other peoples are left behind. There are also job polarizations, which means that high paying jobs are growing while many mid-routine jobs are shrinking and widening the gap between the workers. And it's not just about the skills. We also face larger global challenges. Climate transition will also change the industries, and geopolitical tensions can disrupt the global labor market. Unless we act early, these risks could easily make inequality worse and slow down the progress.
And you must be wondering that why we are more focusing upon reskilling, unequal skilling, and then jobs. Because when I will go and get a job for myself, they will not judge me upon. Of course, they'll ask me for my report cards and my mark sheet. But then, of course, if I was not to have any, they'll tell me to perform a particular task or give me an assignment on which they'll be judging me. So that skill and that reskilling is really important. Coming to our last slide, the future is very uncertain. Of course, nothing is very certain, right? And being an uncertainty doesn't mean that it is never full of opportunity. Of course, it is full of opportunity if we adapt ourselves well, if we reskill ourselves, if we were to do a collaboration with AI rather than taking it as a threat. We can also grow with it. We can learn to thrive with it. As I also mentioned in the video, that as we are the Fantastic Four, we don't believe that future of jobs will be a threat to us, or it will be like कि हम तो AI से हार गए or AI wins. It is not about that. It is about how much we can learn from AI, how much we can adapt and reskill ourselves using AI. Uh, Workers embrace lifelong learning and adaptability. Employers invest in workforce reskilling and human AI collaboration. When I go for an internship, They focus upon my reskilling. They want me to skill more and more, and depending upon the work environment or the work assignment they are to give me. Government fund training, regulate AI, and ensure inclusive growth. In your education and in many sectors, AI has been taken up to the next level. We are into e-learning. We are into doing everything basically online and being with the screen 24/7. Our success depends upon reskilling, adaptability, and of course, responsible AI adoption. If we were to do something wrong with AI, of course, wouldn't go into a success factor. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.